Yeah, right? I don't know if I like it. It was good. It was nice. Good little break, but happy to be back and getting back after it again. So.
You got to get away, obviously, with your receivers again. I know you've done that in the past, but what do you get out of that? How important is that?
Yeah, I think it's important. Sometimes you get more time with them than others. Just everybody's schedule, happened to work out a couple times this off season. But it's good. Anytime you can get NFL guys running out there, it's great. And then if you can get guys from your own team, it's even better. So it was good, especially with a new offense, just to be able to kind of get out there and get some verbiage going and get some thoughts on routes and where we want to be and where we want to go. So it was positive work. No, not really. No.
Matt, you've gone through installing different systems before. What can you take from your previous experiences and just, I guess, getting acclimated as quickly as possible?
Yeah, I think, each system kind of has its unique challenges in ways that, it somewhat stresses the quarterback. Not stresses them, but, things that you really need to be on top of. And those things are different, I think, in each system that I've been a part of. And I've kind of learned how to figure out, maybe where this one is similar to another one in some other instances, and find ways to make that learning process a little bit quicker, and understand, maybe what this offense is about as opposed to maybe what another one was about. It's kind of a complex thing, but I think the more experience I have, obviously the better.
Is there anything about this one in particular maybe that jumps out, Matthew? Something that you like, something that's new, different, anything like that? Maybe that's hard.
It's kind of hard for me to quantify at this point. I think that it's definitely different. There's a lot of things I like about it. A lot of things I'm still getting used to, still learning. It's my job to be a coach on the field, and for me to be able to do that, I've got to be as well versed as the guys that are teaching it. So, that's a process, and that takes time. And experience, and something that this time of year is perfect for.
What plays you like, what plays you're not as comfortable with, to have some say and some ownership in what at least the final product or week one product is. How does that make you feel?
It's good. I think that's by and large the way the best offenses are created and made in this league. There's a coach has an idea of how he wants it to go, and I've been lucky enough to play for a bunch of coaches that, do a great job of, asking opinion of quarterback and, hey, what are you comfortable with? Because ultimately, we're the guy out there, controlling the game, throwing the ball, getting us in and out of the right plays. And if we're not comfortable and the guys aren't comfortable with what we're doing, it's not going to look as good as if we are. And that kind of dialogue is something that I'm used to. And I think all, really good players and really good coordinators, that's something that's important to make an offense grow.
Like there's going to be less throwing, dropping back, shotgun. Do you see the offense being more balanced, having more formations than maybe in the past?
I think every offense's goal going into the season is to be as balanced as you possibly can. Make the defense defend the run game, the pass game, the play action, screen game, all that kind of stuff. Each game kind of unfolds in a certain way. But going into games, I would imagine we're going to try to be as balanced as we possibly can, and then play the game, hopefully be able to dictate the pace of the game, the score of the game, and all that, from ahead, and do what we want to do. And then, if a game goes sideways one way or the other, then you go out there and adjust and try to, get back into it or continue leading, whatever it is.
Your ability to slow down the game as a veteran year after year after year. Do you slow down life a little bit more now after everything you guys have gone through and what Kelly has gone through? Maybe slow down each moment a little bit more?
Yeah, I think it definitely puts, things into perspective. It was a challenging off season for sure. Had a bunch of stuff going on here in this building and also, at home. So I don't imagine it much different than a lot of people sitting out here. You guys asking me the questions, right? We all deal with stuff that's, going on at our job, and then we have things going on at home too. So it definitely put things in perspective. No doubt love spending time with my family and all that. But it's nice to be back playing a little bit of ball and see our guys too.
Through a few new starts in your career as far as a new offense and second year of Patricia, does this feel different in any way? Is there different things?
I think they all feel different. Every time, every with a scheme comes new people and new coaches and new, just demeanors, attitudes, all that. So it's all different. NFL football, I mean, it's about change. I mean, everybody's changing. There's coaches going here to there. There's players going here to there. We've got new guys on our roster I've never played with before, and new coaches never played for before. So, how quickly you can make that quote unquote change feel like home and normal and all that, the better.
Had a promising rookie season before he got hurt. What do you see out of him as far as the potential he has, and with obviously a new offense, a little more run? What are your expectations for him?
You said carry on. I missed the first part. Yeah. Carry on did a great job for us last year. I think obviously dealt with some stuff physically, but he's a great kid. Works hard. Wants to know everything there is to know about the offense and go from there. And as far as expectations, I think he's just going to do everything he can to help us win. That's everybody's job on this team. There's going to be certain games where he's carrying the ball a bunch and probably some other games where he's not carrying as much. We're going to do whatever it takes to win, and he's going to be a part of it for sure.
Everything you guys go through as a family this offseason change your perspective when it comes to football? Because a lot of times
I still love this game. I still love preparing for it. I love competing. I try to think that I do a decent job of kind of separating the two, and when I'm home, and when I'm not, I'm here, obviously, all in. But no, I think I was able to kind of compartmentalize them, and obviously it helped a lot with, the way the Lions, treated me through that whole process, made it easy for me to kind of separate those two.
Being a bounce back year for you, you were hurt, you lost some guys on offense, the numbers weren't there that you're used to. Do you view it the same way? Is there something that you need to do to make that happen, I guess?
No, I feel like every year I come in here, I'm trying to prove myself. If you're coming in here feeling like you've done everything you need to do and you're just sitting pretty, then you're in the wrong sport. You're in the wrong job. It's prove yourself every day out there. It's prove yourself week to week and in the season. And this year's no different. Whether I'd have thrown for 6,000 yards or 2,000 yards last year, I would still come in with the same attitude of, hey man, we got new guys I got to learn. We got a new system I got to learn. Whatever it is, I'm diving all in, just working my tail off to try and help us win.
New batch of tight ends. What if they perform the way you project? What do you think what sort of options do they have in your offense?
Quite a bit. I think we're talented in that room at this time. Obviously, different levels of experience, in that room. But we've got some guys kind of all different kind of shapes and sizes and can do different certain things a little bit better maybe than the other and vice versa. But I'm excited about that room. A bunch of guys that love football, like to work hard, like to get, down in there and block and at the same time get out there and catch the ball. So I'm excited about those guys.
One thing, since the NFL is so much about the quarterback, I know it's a team meeting, but a lot is on the quarterback's shoulders. How much better do you think you need to be this fall for the team to have the success that you wanted to have?
By and large, you look around the league, the teams that are playing well, playing into the playoffs, going to Super Bowls, their quarterback's playing at, a pretty darn good level. Sometimes quarterbacks have great years and their teams don't, necessarily win as much as others, but that's a pretty good barometer, of how a team is playing if the quarterback's playing well. So, I expect to come out here and play really well. That's my goal every year is to go and lead this team to a bunch of wins.
Dealing with, as you mentioned, the balance of life and work is a challenge for everybody. After this year, did you get any advice on how to handle that, or do you have any advice on how you were able to get through and continue to get through dealing with it?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I didn't really, seek much advice, knowing that my situation was probably a little bit different than a lot of people's, as is everybody's. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's family dynamic is different. I just know that I had a ton of support within my family, this organization, friends, that made it, doable, for me. And obviously, Kelly was a stud. She was a trooper and is continuing to get better and better. So, I don't know. I don't have much advice for anybody. You just gotta do and find out whatever works for you and whatever works for your family and for everybody that's probably a little bit different.
Can you tell already comfort level or knowing each other? And I know he's talked about adjusting things too.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been able to tell anything yet a year in now?
I think so. I think, like anybody, experience is great, you know, and you know, he's had another year or a full year, I guess, I would say, as a head coach, and probably has tweaked some things to whatever it is, his schedule or whatever, you know, that makes life easier for him, and you know, allows him to do what he wants to do with this team a little bit more, a little bit better, whatever it is. But I think with experience, he's a smart guy. You know, he's not going to sit there and you know, not learn anything from his first year as being a head coach in the National Football League. And I'm not going to learn. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm going to be this way my whole life, and you know, you got to adjust to me. So it's a compromise. We talk, you know, quite a bit. Got a great relationship and speak to each other a lot. Thanks, guys.
Good, doing good. I mean, I think being aware of the system and being aware of what we're trying to do and accomplish as a defense is gonna really help us like all play faster, help us all be able to have a good system of, I guess, so to say, checks and balances for each other, knowing that, hey, this is my job, and I know the guys' jobs around me, so I can help them do what they need to do too.
Things you want to accomplish as a team leader or production, all of that stuff in your third year?
I mean, I just want to ultimately, like, my goal and the team goal is just to come out and execute. You know, make sure we do the best job that we can, make sure we do our jobs to the fullest that we can.
Jared, I was wondering your early impressions of Jelani, having some practice under your belt with him, what he could bring to this defense.
I mean, Jelani, he's a grinder, man. He comes to work every single day. Very personable guy. You know, great teammate to be around in the film room, in the locker room, and everything. So I really like how eager he is to learn. And something that I kind of take pride in is really helping him out because he wants everything that he can get. So if there's something that he's struggling with, I always make it a point to go up and help him. And if there's something that he sees that I'm struggling with or something like that, he may have something that he brought from college that he can, that I could use or whatever, that we share. We bounce ideas off of each other every single day. And just like everybody else in that room, man, we have a good time going to work and just battling for each other.
Early in the year, what do you think that does for you and how maybe you get used or even how much you play?
I mean, honestly, it'll help us out a lot because we don't just learn one position in that room. We learn every single spot in the linebacker room. And so being able to know every position and coming in as a rookie, it's a lot for him. But like I've done it a year already, so I know different little nuances and everything like that. So it's going to help us be able to move around and be able to create more disguises and everything like that. So we're really excited to be able to come out and do what we need to do.
You specifically, because obviously you'd probably be in that middle area more. You think that would allow you to kind of bounce around and maybe rush the passer more? Is that?
Most definitely. I mean, you never know. You never know.
So I know it's reporting day, right? So you don't know exactly what's going to happen yet. But do you have a sense yet of how camp will be different? I mean, Patricia was a hard camp last year. And anything that you saw from the spring or that you've seen from the schedule so far that do you have any sense of how things may be different this summer for you guys?
Honestly, man, like our old Coach Shannon used to say at Florida, I just show up, they tell me what to do, and I do it. That's it, That's it.
Need to be different at all? I mean, in order to keep you guys' legs fresher for the start of the season?
I mean, honestly, I feel like a lot of guys know what to expect based off last year. And, we put a lot of work in the offseason, making sure that our bodies are conditioned and ready to go. And there's not going to be any excuse for us to come out and have a hard day of practice and not be able to show up during the season. So, I mean, it's just something that we know it comes with the territory. And, I mean, the more work you put in, the higher you can reach. So, hopefully, we can come out and do what we need to do.
The team has invested a lot in the guys in front of you since you've been here. And getting Snacks last year, getting Trey this offseason. What has that meant to you, and what do you think that'll do for you this season?
I'm just really excited to give offenses more of a headache, Like, honestly, there's so many of us that they got to block, and they can't block every one of us. Somebody's going to win a one-on-one and make a big play. I mean, that's what we're here to do. So I'm just excited to have the multiplicity and everybody on the defense, to really be able to use different tools to really just mess with offenses.
This morning about you becoming a better pass rusher, not just getting sacks, but pass rusher. What does that mean to you, and how have you worked on that part of your game?
I do a little bit of work with Coach Pete Jenkins. He's a guy who's been Philadelphia Eagles a while ago. He was with LSU. He goes around to different schools and stuff like that and works with D linemen. And I did a little work with him this offseason and just going out and working on different skills and everything like that. I just want to be able to add more to my game and help the defense out mostly because, I can drop in coverage, every play, but to be able to come in, pass or rush the passer is super nice too. It's just fun to be able to go out and have an offense have to guess, am I coming, am I dropping, what am I doing? So I love that.
Help the defense and the team that Slay and Harrison are here. Everybody's here. There's no questions about who's not here and why they're not here, and it's just business, hit the ground running from day one.
I mean, it's just, everybody's here. It's a huge morale boost to see your guys, especially after a long break like we've had. And to have those guys here, I mean, just to add to the work that we put in earlier this year. So, we just got to go out and keep going, hit the same stride that we were on in OTAs and mini camps, and just continue to have success in practice and carry it over to the season.
Predictions these days in the media and everything like that this time of year. Did you ever in your first couple of years, hear that or fall into that noise, or as a leader now, are you maybe telling young guys to not listen to those kind of things on the outside?
I mean, for me, growing up, like playing this sport, like I've never really paid attention to predictions. You can't really listen to those things because they'll ultimately set mental barriers in your mind. So I mean, for me, I just go out and I put in the work every single day. Like when I work out or whenever I'm training, I have a certain feeling that I try to reach, and once I get that feeling, then it's time for me to really put in the true work, because that's when I try to reach new barriers every single day. So, I mean, predictions are what they are. People are gonna have their opinions. I mean, you can go out and you can let them affect you, or you can just do you and do your best.
Like that, like you, or do you think that some guys kind of get?
I mean, if they do, I try to just show them like, hey, that don't matter. Like, it don't matter what anybody has to say about who I am or who you are, who we are. It's about what we want to do, and we got to go out and make it happen.
Do you relish the fact that nobody's taking you seriously? Because the projections, which obviously you say you don't pay attention to, they haven't been great. So do you relish that you're not being taken so seriously coming into the season?
I mean,
as a team?
So like this instance right now where you're saying that we're not taking it seriously.
No. I'm saying, do you like the fact that?
I mean, it's just something that you always keep in the back of your head, So you got to remember, when you're down and when you're out, people are going to talk mess about you, and they're going to say that you ain't this and you aren't that. But when you come up and you put the work in and you really rise to the occasion and you show people what you're made of, you got to remember that. You got to ultimately remember that, because the boat is like the ocean. It changes. The waves rise, the waves fall. So it's the same thing with predictions and everything like that. You can go out and you have the best game this week and you can surprise a lot of people. And those same people that said that you didn't have the ability to do that, they're going to say, oh man, they can do this now. This guy, he's this and he's that. Like, it's going to keep changing. So to follow that and to mold your game off predictions and what people's thoughts are, it's going to ultimately affect you, and you're not going to be able to be consistent. So that's why I try to stay away from it.
Impact Snacks can have on the run game. I'm just curious, from your eyes, as the guy playing behind him and feeding off of some of the double teams, like, what does that look like? What kind of impact is that at your spot, what he brings to stopping the run?
I mean, it's complete mayhem in front of me, honestly. Like, it's a massacre, and it's like I just got to go in and get an elbow in there, get a finger on the ball carrier, because he just swallows them up. So, I mean, it's awesome to have him in front of me. It clears up a lot of things, and being able to have a whole off season with him and really see what it's truly like to play behind him in practice and get those reps and see like, hey, this is where he's going to be, this is where I need to be. It'll help us play a lot faster.
Second year in a row. How advantageous is that for you to just be able to play freely using your physical attributes as opposed to, still learning mentally?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to not have to, so to say, think as much, just go in the film room, know what I can kind of guess, predict what we're going to do in certain situations, and I'll be able to know, hey, this is what I need to be thinking about. This is what I need to pay attention to. Now I'll be able to pay attention to more what that offense is trying to do to attack us rather than what we're trying to do to attack the offense, because now I'm more comfortable with this.
From last year, coming from your first year?
It was different just because there were different concepts, but as the season went on, I totally started to understand that, hey, like, it's still football. It may look a little different. We may dress it up a little different, but it's still football. So just got to get back to the basics.
Statistical progression last year, you could see how it got better throughout the season. But just as a player on the field, could you tell how much better it was getting as the season was going along? And what particular areas could you notice that most?
I mean, I think
without looking at the stats.
Yeah. The biggest thing is, like, those first couple games when we were just getting gassed by teams and, they were running through us like that. It was terrible. It was like kind of breaks your morale in a sense, But as the season went on and we started to really fine-tune and sharpen our tools and everything like that, it really helped us just know, like, hey, we're a dominant defense. We just got to stick to what we do best. We got to go out and do it the best we can. Like, if we come out and we're second-guessing or we're slow a step here, slow a step there, like, we're going to get beat. We're going to miss plays. Like, and there's a lot of opportunities that we had last year that we missed, and now it's our job to come out here through training camp to make sure that we can take care of those things and iron them out and make sure those aren't chances for teams to get up on us.
How much better do you think your defense was than at the start of the year?
I mean, I know for a fact we were super confident. We were extremely confident in what we could do. Hard to really put like a grade on it, but I know. I mean, it was almost night and day. All right, y'all have a nice night.